Computer. Lights.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Tuesday. Any music? My music running? It's not running. Why is it not running? Oh, there we go. There we go. Look at that. Getting it all squared away. Oh, man. It's kind of a slow start Tuesday for me. I don't know. I'm not quite moving like I wanted to. I got on the bike for a while, though. That was good. And then I was like, well, what am I working on? I'm working on a bunch of star information. And I'm in like rows and rows and rows of star information. I'm trying to figure out how to correct for the fact that the solar system doesn't live in a 3D universe the way that we think it does. Our solar system is not, in fact, level with the galactic plane. So the galaxy goes this way and the solar system doesn't go this way. The solar system is actually kind of like this at about a 60-degree angle. And all of our star charts are Earth-based. So it's looking at a point and going, it's this far above the horizon and about this far around, and it's right there, and it's about this far away, which means I've got to use trigonometry to get it all like squared away, because I'm trying to make a world where it's on a flat plane, and this star is here, and this star is here, and Earth is here, and that star is there. And it's hard. It's really difficult. It's fun. It's interesting. I'm enjoying it, but it's difficult. So, yeah, that's what we're doing today. We're not doing that today on the show, though, because that would drive me crazy. Instead, we're going to try to do some painting. So we're going to do that because we probably need to take a break anyway. So I had started working on this yesterday, and I was like, well, I don't know. And I kind of like, widgeted around, and I don't know what I was doing. I just kind of like was... So we're going to keep working on this, because actually this is a good start. I'm pretty happy with the start we've got going on here. But I want to change its angle a little bit, right? This is kind of dramatic, but it'd be cooler if we had sort of like somebody took this picture from a cell phone in the passenger seat, kind of like taking a picture, click. She's trying to get in the window. So this picture that I'm referencing here, this picture is, somebody did this picture that was really cool, that had Golly from Battle Angel coming in the window. And I thought, oh, that pose is cool. So that's sort of what we're doing here. We're just kind of... I like the idea, though, that like this isn't going as well. She thinks it should. Like her legs are like, wah! She's trying to fly out the window here. You remember the Dukes of Hazzard, that TV show in the 80s, where they had to go in the window of the Dodge? Later on in my life, I found out why they had to do that. Because a lot of those unibody cars from the 70s and the 80s, they were, if you're a unibody, the moment you put a bigger engine in there, bigger than the car is designed for, the body will torque just a little bit and the doors will no longer open. So that's why they had to keep going in through the doors. Found that out racing Vegas, which are unibody, 70s unibody little cars, subcompacts that nowadays would still be construed as large cars. But the Vegas were also unibodies, and if you were to take those cars and put, say, 350 Chevy big block 8 cylinders or small block 8 cylinders in there, which a 350 Chevy power plant fit really nicely in a Vegas engine case. I mean, and by really nicely, I mean it was a small amount of problems as opposed to some of the larger engines, which were big problems. If you put those engines, you could put those engines into those Chevy Vegas and they'd fit, but you'd never be able to open the doors again. And that was sort of a thing, a sign that you had a sort of a supercar. So I'm looking here at the anatomy on this particular part of her body. Okay, we've got a shoulder joint here. We've got a muscle group called the trapezius here. And I'm trying to figure out how to get this group to work together here, because we've got a collarbone that's going like this, right? And I feel like the collarbone's kind of twisted here. I'm going to come up over the deltoid, which is this muscle right there. We're going to figure out how she's actually like holding on here. I mean, because we've got kind of, I mean, she's bending in a lot of ways, nature of the beast, right? And let's be realistic, she's trying to jump into a car of some sort. All right. Put the seat a little further back, like so. A little more room in here for her to get in this door. There we go. A little more like that. There we go. I'm just kind of trying to get this going here. Her neck's going to be leaning forward. She's trying to look into the door. And what we're trying to kind of depict here is her spine is going to be bent like that. And the reason, because she's trying to kind of hunch into the window, right? So she's kind of bending in to get in the window. So I actually kind of feel like her deltoid here is probably higher, right? Like that. Right? That looks a little bit better. We already kind of see she's, you know what I mean? Kind of doing that. But even looking in here, you know, put my arms up like this, I can already see, first of all, I can clearly see that there's no indentation here. Kind of put an indentation in here, and there really isn't. I want to exaggerate these shoulders just a little bit, but the truth is we're kind of doing this number. All right, moving in more like this. It's kind of useful having the camera on. I can kind of see what's going on here. And It's been a while since we've done actual art of any sort. Kind of miss it. I'm going to just move her head over just a little. Like, do you have your license and registration? Yeah. And she's kind of poking her head in like this. And we're going to have to straighten up her breasts at some point here because they are way wonked. That's okay. I'll move this here. So, and move that there. Like so. And she's still going to have to bend here. And this is just going to have to keep going back further. All right. Kind of having to figure out how this all works. This is a very strange angle, which, by the way, is something I like to challenge myself with every so often, just to see if I can still do it. I use maquettes to make drawing faster. And so I like to get I like to challenge myself to do weird and strange things and drawings in different angles and stuff like that, just to get an idea of what's going on. But also to make sure that I can still do this. All right, so if this was the front of her jumpsuit, I guess she's in a jumpsuit. She's jumping out of a car. Okay, that's funnier in my head. I'm just putting in lines to kind of give me guides as to what's going on here anatomically. Do we even know what's going on? No, we don't. Does she know what's going on? No. No idea. Why are you in the window? She doesn't know. She really doesn't know. Okay, so we have added in sort of guides. And these guides are kind of telling me where things are on this picture. And that's what these lines are. It's giving me surface contour. Right? And she's happy. Yay! I'm an idiot. Hi. Well, okay, I'm fighting this funnier than I need to be fighting it. I'm sure this is not as funny as I'm finding it. I don't know. We have her hair kind of flap. Whee! Okay, maybe I may need less coffee now. Maybe we've over caffeinated at this point. Let's see. Okay, so this might be like a picture of one of those stupid moments from one of my characters in Bellatrix Rising where they're like recalling back to that time they almost died or had to have like 60 years of surgery because of the fact that they were an idiot. We'll have to see. Anyway, for right now, I'm entertained by the yay. Safety features never help you if you are dangling out the window of your vehicle. There. Just to add to it. I don't know why I'm finding this funnier and funnier and funnier as I go along, but I am. I'm finding this hysterical, and I'm way entertained by my own drawing. So there's that. Because it's a space age car. So naturally, they put buttons on the A-frame. I would. Who doesn't? Hey, somebody's joining me. You're joining me, Raph. Which is good because I'm just being completely ridiculous over here.
Yeah, I've been waiting the whole time.
I know, but I've been drawing. Nobody was there, and then I looked, and there you are. So here I'm drawing this ridiculous picture that I started yesterday, and I've decided I'm just going to keep going with it. And I'm entertained by it, and it's making me chuckle a lot.
Yeah, I heard that cackle. It was kind of creepy.
Yeah, it was, right, exactly. The creepy cackle.
It reminded me of Dr. Giggles.
But I am kind of loving the angle I'm at, though. This is a ridiculous angle. I've added all kinds of funny things to it, like now the steering wheel says auto drive off. Yeah, so she's clearly hanging out the window while the car is not on auto drive. Yeah. I've decided this is probably just going to be one of those character caution tales. When they remember back to the days. Wow. I know. It was super cool when this picture was Golly, because Golly is just she's just super cool, and that's the way it goes. It's not super cool when I drew it. Now it's like, well, there's that. It is becoming fun, though. And the entertainment value is high.
Let's see.
So, let's see here. I wonder if no, I guess you wouldn't see her hand up there. She's like, it's almost like she's looking there and going, well, good luck to you. Hope you can survive this fall off the cliff. Bye. And she's got like a parachute or something. I think my story about what's going on in this picture is more fun than the picture.
Somebody's had too much coffee this morning.
Right? That's what I'm thinking. I was like, I got up and I was like having a really hard time getting started. So I was like, I'll drink more coffee. I'll drink more coffee. I need more coffee. And now I'm like completely wired for sound. That's all right. Better than where I was this morning. I was not doing good this morning. Did not get off to a good start. Which is weird because I actually slept really well last night. But as I posted on Facebook, I don't sleep well generally. I have problems with sleep. So anytime that I sleep well, I think I kind of wake up feeling a little drugged because I had 8 hours of sleep. Well, there's an ugly mug. Although that is kind of cool. I got to admit, that's a nifty effect. Good morning, Patsy. Welcome to the show.
Morning.
We are in a weird mode today. We are in a very, very weird mode.
Speak for yourself. I'm just trying to wake up.
That's what I mean by weird mode. All right. Good morning, Donald. Good to see you this morning as well. So I've got a lot of Facebook today. A couple of days ago, we had like everybody on Twitch, and then it's like it goes in weird waves where we'll get a lot of people on one social media and then not on another. It's kind of strange. How are you guys doing this morning? Ooh, Patsy, you're in Arizona. I'll bet you it's starting to get pretty hot down there already because it's getting pretty warm up here. I'll bet you that's becoming more of a heat wave issue. All right, just kind of. Really? Donald, you're just breaking my heart there. Is it really supposed to hit 94 here? Ugh. I am no good above 30 degrees Celsius. I learned that one in Japan. 30 is like my no-go zone. Okay, so you guys always hear about me talking about converging tangents. I hate converging tangents, so that's what I just did with the steering wheel here. Moved it over this line from the windshield so that the tangents won't converge. Give it a little bit of sort of a shape to the steering wheel. Man, I don't want it to be 94. That's stupid. Should just get up and during break I might run over real quick and make sure my swamp coolers are ready on water.
Wow. I've got air conditioning at the house, so I'm good.
Yeah, I know. I married a hippie. I say that only because I actually say that with a whole bunch of love because she does things that are actually good for us, and I know that. But air conditioning is one of those things that she is reluctant to get. If we can keep the swamp running, and the swamp actually doesn't do a bad job, so. Huh. So you're working on alien race creation today, huh, Donald? Fascinating. I, on the other hand, apparently am trying to make this gal jump out a window. I don't know what my problem is. And she looks very happy about it, too. So, I mean, there's always that.
That's the one you started yesterday, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I didn't have a plan yesterday whenever I started this, and I actually still don't have a plan today, but I've got nothing but a ton of math to do. So I didn't want to do that on air because it's boring. So I just went on ahead and continued with this, and now I'm like, this is actually kind of fun, and I don't know where we're going with this. But I'm having fun with it. So, there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, if it's going to be 94 here, I fear for Patsy. Well, you were just down in Mexico. What was it like down there?
It was actually pretty nice, though. Weather wasn't bad.
Yeah.
That explains it.
We can hear you, but we're waiting for your IV cam connection.
Oh, that get lost?
Yep.
Let's see.
It's hot, she says. It's hot. I mean, she's just like, we're done. We're already cooked. Everybody here in Arizona, we're just toast.
Let's try. So right now, I'm working on the computer anyway, so maybe if I just turn off the camera.
Yeah, just share your monitor. All right. Trapezius is roundish like this, so we're going to round that out. Make sure that muscle group is round.
Let's see.
Speaking of rounding, let's round breasts out a little bit more.
I did hit share, but it's not sharing.
Weird. You could change your camera down there on the gear.
That'll work.
Just change your camera to the monitor. All we're going to end up with is your ugly mug anyway.
Now, why is it black?
Now, that I can't help you with. And we're on. So you've both seen it, huh? That's interesting. I did get an extra something came up over here on the right.
Try this again. All right, just tried sharing again. There we go. But then it just puts my screen as the main big old screen there.
I wonder what happens if I do that. Can we just do them side by side, maybe? Sort of. There we go. It just took some effort for me to diddly-bop back and forth there. Which is fine. That works. This works for me. So, not bad. So many jokes about you being on top and insisting on being on top. Not kid-friendly, but you know. It's funnier because, like I said, my kid's going through sex ed, and so I have answered some really funny questions over the last few days. Few months. I guess it's last month or so. I actually was wondering what it'd be like to be a parent going through that, and it actually turns out to be entertaining, highly entertaining. Okay. There we go. I don't know if this is what I want to do with the face, but you know, it's all right. I'm just kind of adding a thing here. Yeah, I know. So many states are really like, it's the idea that if we don't tell them about it, they won't do it. As if nobody has ever had a kid. Patsy's saying that they don't do sex ed very well in her state. And I've noticed that. And I mean, to be fair, his sex ed, he was getting a lot more information off the playground. You know? Because what you end up with is like this weird cultural thing going where, you know, like they'll start, some parents tell more than other parents, and you know, and so they'll get on the playground and it'll be, you know, they'll start talking to each other about, sort of starts the conversation in the classroom. So it's an interesting thing. But having been a junior high teacher, I can tell you the worst thing we can possibly ever do to teenagers is not talk to them about it and hope for the best. Because I had the kids that were in that area, that age range. I wonder if I can make this look any more like a big bomb. The car has a bomb. No, not a bomb. Boy, I changed the theory of this particular drawing really, really, really fast. It went from, hey, wouldn't it be fun for me to jump out of this car, to now I'm rescuing somebody by trying to disable this bomb. I've had too much coffee. Oh, hey, you know what? I wonder if that's because we need to do something like I wonder if I can add you. Well, what about now?
My mic's working now, but yeah, now.
Well, yeah, it's because with the screen share. It's got to be a way to like add your mic, but not add your nose here. Because all it is just your monitor coming in on the screen.
I don't know what that's about.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, let me try this. No, because then it does that.
Yeah, but I wonder if I can. Right? Ghost Hands link on today is Mr. Black Screen. I wonder if I can maybe. No, that just makes like maybe this. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe screen. I wonder if there's some way I can make this work. Maybe this isn't bad.
Well, I'm almost done with this part. I just got to save some files, and then I'm going to go back to traditional anyway.
No, I mean, we can do it like this, Mr. Black Screen.
There we go.
right?
Damn.
I know, right? Well, that went there.
Yeah, I was gonna say it took me a second to realize you were talking about a bomb because I heard bong as in weed.
Right? That's not where I'm headed on this one yet. Good big red light. The big red light's like your thing, right? You know, it's like you could tell that it's like a bomb. It's got a big red light on it. That's how you know. Although it does kind of look like a 50s vacuum cleaner right now. Just saying. I've added stripes to it, which definitely makes it look like a 50s vacuum cleaner. You know, I have, and I will always sort of have this love for that atomic age stuff that we had in the 60s, like right at the end of the 50s and the beginning of the 60s. I love that design aesthetic. And I know that I know exactly why I love it. I'm a Trekkie. And of course, all of the original old series Star Trek is the design aesthetic is totally that 60s, atomic age, retro age, future modern stuff.
Black and chrome all over the place.
Yeah, but or more along the lines of that. You know how they take the fiberglass, like the tulip chairs, and that kind of super clean. Everything's got a curve to it, sort of look. I really love that design aesthetic. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a broken child.
There's that.
Yep, there is that. But you've known that for a while. That's why we're friends.
It's like I say, we smell our own.
Right. We're just saying. So, what am I after here? I don't know what I'm after. Anybody even know what I'm doing? Anybody know what I'm doing? Surprised they haven't made a car that runs on weed.
That's actually very surprising.
Okay. Not something I would have expected. Okay, I'm going to try to follow my vanishing points here. Does anybody know where your vanishing points are? Anybody want to help me out on vanishing points here? I am totally doing this seat of the pants sort of stuff, so I am like not sure that my vanishing points even go anywhere correct. Looking here, kind of going that way, kind of going that way. Does anybody even know where our vanishing points are? I could draw them in, but why do that? This is like Iron Man drawing. Oh, yeah. There is something really lovely about the Soviet brutalism, too. I agree. And I know that sounds really strange because the term is brutalism, but I absolutely agree with you. There is something elegant. There's a certain amount of elegance to Soviet brutalism.
I've never heard that term.
That's that, that aesthetic we're talking about, though, right?
Oh, okay.
You know how
That's what it's called?
gray blocks and lots of, really blocky, but there's a certain amount of elegance to it. We think of that sort of, when we think of that, we'll think more of the USSR style of things. Um, but I think about like the Soyuz rockets and that kind of thing. Those are really, in their own way, elegant machines. Scary, but elegant. Especially if you think about like the N1, which was their moon rocket, the one that they were going to send to the moon. That thing, very brutalistic, but very pretty. I'm actually kind of impressed that I'm hearing the word brutalism from people on here, because I haven't heard brutalism since college. Because of course we all had to take art history. Okay, just giving her some shape here. I actually really did like that. I liked art history, and I liked learning about the different eras of art. If nothing else, because it was nice to be able to learn kind of when we hit these periods in our culture where all of the style of art moved in one direction. And we got like sort of a lot of copycats that went down the line. And that was cool. I didn't, it was like, I didn't know that was a thing when I went to college. Our arm really needs to be out the window more. Like here. Let's talk about this design here. Turned her more into like a James Bond-esque character all of a sudden.
I really hate this save copy crap on Photoshop.
Right? Not impressed with them. Also not impressed with the fact that I need to unsubscribe from that thread.
They need a what?
I need to unsubscribe from that thread.
Oh, is it still going?
Like another 200 posts in that thread.
That's
and a new email for each one of them. Right? I did notice that too. That's another thing that's fascinating about when you look at post-World War II structure and everything like that. I think because of propaganda here in America, that particular art style has always been sort of downplayed, and they push it down because it's sort of you don't want to like anything that the Soviets did. We're not allowed to like anything the Soviets did. And so I feel like that because of just the generic post-war propaganda, Cold War propaganda, we weren't allowed to like that particular style. But there's a certain amount of elegance to practicality. That's what Ghost Hand's kind of talking about over here, is getting to the Chechenian region and or even out into the outer Mongolian regions. There's a certain amount of loveliness to it.
Is it bad that every time you talk Russian, I think of Chekhov?
No, that's not bad at all. I'm just saying, unless you're talking about the philosopher.
No, I'm totally thinking of Chekhov from Star Trek 4, the nuclear vessels.
You know what? As a Trekkie, that just warms my heart. I'm okay with that all day long. All right. There we go. Nuclear vessels. And sir, it's the Enterprise. Walter Koenig totally. Did I tell you the story about Walter Koenig just totally trolling me?
No.
Oh, man. I was interviewing him, right, for Geek Tank.
Uh-huh.
And so I sat down with him, and I'm like super nervous. I'm a Trekkie. I'm sitting down with Chekhov, right? So I mean,
It's a
I'm
big
like,
deal.
this is like a moment in my life. And I sit down, and the camera starts rolling, and I said, I'm Guy Davis, and I'm here with Walter Koenig, who played Chekhov in Star Trek. And he just suddenly goes, 30 years, and all I've got to show for my career is a second-rate sci-fi film from the and I'm like sitting there looking at him, and all of a sudden, like, the guy behind the camera is like looking at me, and we're both looking at each other like, are we crashing this? And then he goes, that's it, I'm done. And he gets up and he starts to walk away, and and then he turns with this big huge grin on his face.
Oh,
And I'm like,
jerk.
don't troll me, I'm gonna cry. You can't do that, man.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, he totally trolled me. So from that point forward, Troy and I have already decided that Troy gets the ones that screw with people, because apparently Brent Spiner will do the same thing. I'm only allowed to interview the nice people who will not screw with me, because Troy's like, I don't care, they can mess with me all day long, But I was sitting there, I was like, I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna just cry right here. That's what's gonna happen. I'm just gonna completely come unglued. We have that on video. So anyway, yeah, he trolled me. That was enough to. I mean, it's funny in hindsight. Was not funny at the moment. I thought for sure I was like crashing the interview.
I don't know, man. That sounds pretty freaking hilarious.
Yeah. Like I said, you'll find it very funny. You'll find that video hysterical. I still haven't brought myself to watch it yet. Troy found it, and so we put it up for safekeeping because we didn't want to lose it. But we haven't posted it out on Geek Tank's page yet, because we have to put the the beginning and the ending headers and stuff like that on it.
Ghost hands. That's funny.
Yeah, well, he's spot on. That was entirely all of what Star Trek 6 is. It's all about Praxis blowing up. Was the analogy to the wall falling and things like that. And wow, you just got all hissy all of a sudden. But you just got all suddenly got very like hissy or whatever.
I did?
Yeah, like all of a sudden your microphone decided to pick up like all the background noise.
Oh, damn. I'm sorry.
It stopped, so it's all good. No need to apologize. But I appreciate it.
Technical issues over here like crazy.
Yeah, you're having all kinds of fun. Yeah, actually, I think Takei and Koenig had a lot of fun over the years. I feel like she still needs to have her head moved over just a little bit. Yep. Like that. She needs to be looking in, like clearly looking in. So if people are wondering why I use maquettes, by the way, I've spent like forever on this particular, just getting the design straightened out. which is fine if I don't have a time crunch. I can spend all the time in the world, resketching and resketching and resketching.
You started that one yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, my days are a blur.
Oh, I know that one. No, I feel guilty using the maquettes because it's kind of technically tracing, and it makes me feel really guilty because, of course, us artists, we've been told never trace. And so what I do,
Lightly outline.
right? I'm not tracing. I'm lightly outlining. What I'll do is I'll bring those maquettes in from Daz, and then I literally trace them, right? And I feel really guilty about that. But the reason I do it is because it saves me a lot of this time, which is what I'm doing right now, which is just refining the sketch down. When I'm drawing just some goofy picture like this, where I'm just having fun and just drawing, there's no time crunch on it. There's no, I don't need to do it in the next 2 hours for a deadline. So I'm cool. I can sit here and do this all day long. My problem is whenever I've got a deadline or, like I'm drawing my comics and I can't spend 12 hours on panel 1, So I keep drawing these pictures every so often to make me feel like, or at least to remind me that I'm capable of doing it. The only problem I have is I think I get too caught up in the maquettes because I love the dynamics of this particular picture, and I don't ever feel like I get the dynamics like this out of the Daz maquettes. And I wonder if that's because when I'm messing with the maquettes and Daz, I don't right? So the Pikachu and Stitch drawing is another good example. So I belonged for a long time to a website which kind of did pair-ups and battles where two artists would get together and they'd pair them up and they'd both get a topic. Whoever was the highest ranking got to pick the topic. And so, like, for example, Raph and I would be paired up and both of us would get, I don't know, Spider-Man as a topic. We'd both have to draw a Spider-Man picture. And then in 1 month, we'd both present that picture and then the rest of the group would vote. And whoever won the battle, so to speak, would move up a ranking and the other one would move down a ranking. And it was very brutalistic. It was very Fight Club sort of style, but I really did hone a lot of skills at that website. And I made a rule internally for myself that I would never use maquettes for those pictures so that I could keep practicing like this. And I feel like some of those pictures are some of my best work. And that doesn't mean that my comics aren't some of my best work. I've got some sweet pictures in my comics that came out. But I really feel like things like that Pikachu picture are a great example. Speaking of, I love that piece.
What piece?
The one you're working on right now.
Oh, sorry. I got distracted with some messages. Yeah, it's a piece I'm working for NAHB. So,
Let's say, do I know those people?
National Indian Health Board.
Oh, okay. So that's not supposed to be somebody specific. It's just
No. It's their characters. They're mascots essentially that I designed for them.
nice.
Yeah. So let's see here.
But yeah, to Donald's comment, I love the Pikachu versus Stitch picture too. That was another one of those weird ones. They were like, it was, what was it? The challenge was like mini kaiju. So what, specifically Pikachu or any of the Digimon characters or anything like that. And I was like, good heavens, what am I going to do with that? And I was like, hey, Stitch is a mini kaiju. Like theoretically, Stitch is like a little mini kaiju.
That's actually true.
So then I did Stitch versus Pikachu. That one won. And all I got to was Sketch. And the Sketch still won over my opponent. Besides, I love Stitch. Stitch is one of my favorite characters ever. Like, represents so much of like my I don't know, irresponsibility. My wife got me a shirt that has him upside down and it says I tried.
That's funny.
Stitch is great. Stitch is the best. I used to do the Stitch voice for my kids in school. They loved that. All right. I'm digging this. Aw. Thank you, Donald. I think it was a poster-worthy drawing too. And then I brought it here into the show and I painted it. And I love the painting too. I take this off because it was funny. It was a funny joke, but it's messing with my perspective on the wheel here. All right.
Oh,
I think I'm ready to ink this thing.
do it.
Do it and you're cool. Do it and you're cool.
I wouldn't go that far.
Bro, I don't think you'll ever think I'm cool. That's all right.
Well, I'm not very cool, so the standards are pretty low.
Yeah, I love you anyway.
Aw, now I feel special and all warm and fuzzy.
All warm and fuzzy. Yeah. Life's too short to not tell your friends you love them. They mean something to you.
Ah. Done.
Is that you or is that my kid?
I don't know. All I know is I'm done.
You have an alarm going?
Oh, no, I don't have an alarm going.
Did my kid actually set an alarm? I'm kind of shocked, actually. Did not expect that.
I'm still trying to wrap my logic or my head around the Adobe's logic for the Control Shift Save.
Right? What were they thinking?
I don't know why you wouldn't include everything else in there. That just doesn't make any sense to me.
Hey, you know what? Your Creative Cloud stuff's updated.
I don't use Creative Cloud for saving.
No, I was just commenting on the
Ah,
because I got that this morning too. Creative Cloud updated, which I don't think actually helped me any. That's all right. Let me give this jumpsuit some like pattern because I think it's kind of cool. Boy, Raph, this crow quill, man. If you can control it, it is lovely. Did you just drop off of the thingy here?
No.
You're like, there we go. I am going to switch to, oh, the lights have changed. You know what that means? Time to stand up and stretch, which is good.
Why?
You know, you don't got to, but I stand up and stretch. Well, you're getting all kinds of things connecting and disconnecting, aren't you?
Yeah.
I'm going to go turn my swamp cord water.
All right.
On. Get the pump going. Ooh, that was a good walk, actually. Oh, man.
Why is that upside down?
I also woke up this morning with so whatever you're doing, you're not sharing, just so you know.
Trying to fix my camera.
Well, that's what you're doing.
All right. So let's see here. Ha!
Look at that.
I'm back.
Man, that's lovely.
Thank you.
I'm digging that one. All right.
You know what I like about Corona days?
About what?
Corona days, COVID days.
Oh, COVID days? Yeah.
We do video meetings like this, and you don't have to get dressed. So. And if you're not sharing your screen, who's wearing clothes?
See, the problem with that, though, is you just gave me the image. You just had to give me the image, didn't you?
That was the point, sir. Figure you miss it.
There are a lot of things that I miss, but I'm not 100% sure that's one.
You know, you don't have to hide the lust. It's okay. We all know.
A hobbit, dwarf, gnome, and a goblin walk into a bar because the humans set the bar really low. That's good, actually. That's clever.
Yeah, I like that one. That's a good one. Feel like I have a lot to contribute to that bar.
That's funny. I never really thought of you as short, particularly.
Me?
Yeah. Do you think of yourself as short?
No, I was just talking about setting the bar low for him.
Oh, gotcha. I'm like, that's funny. Why would you think you're short? I don't think you're short. But,
I'm about.
As I'm sitting here drawing all these little rolls in this girl's like stomach area, I think of my female buddies who are always like, oh, I've got a roll there. So I'm like, and of course I never see them or understand what they're talking about, so I never get it. And so I happen to be in that mindset of people who get sort of an idea of some flaw of their character. When you said that, and I was like, do you think you're short?
No, but I do now. Thank you.
You're welcome. Giving you a complex. That's what friends are for. Hey, I'm not showing you my screen.
No, you're not.
All I'm really doing here is just showing you my face. There we go.
I didn't want to say anything because if I said anything, that meant that I wasn't working. I was just watching the screen.
Right? Exactly. And then I'd be able to mock you for that. All right. I really do like this crow quill.
Yeah, I like that pen. That one and the Kowalski brush, I think it's what it's called.
I haven't tried the velocity brush. I'll try that.
No, Kowalski.
I like velocity brush. It's like Velociraptors, except with brushes.
That does sound cooler. I might have to rename mine.
Right now we've got Velocibrushes. You sit there and or make noises.
So are you still doing cards for Earth Tau?
Not in general. I mean, I'm not stopping for any reason other than I just got super busy for a while there, and so there's no. I was doing a card for them, and then we were like, I didn't do it the way that they wanted, which was fine. But I then kind of got sidetracked, so I haven't gone back to talk to them or anything like that. It's not intentional. It's just sort of a thing, you know. I did 17 of them. So I was feeling very much like they needed to take a break from me because the first 17 of their cards were mine.
That's funny.
And so I was like, you guys need to come up with other artists in there. So I'm kind of glad you guys are picking up the slack because I felt bad. I got all caught up in Ron's stuff, Ron Fortier with Airship 27. And then I just never got back to them. And I wouldn't mind doing more. I mean, this could be a card for them for all we know. Yeah, it's got a story and stuff like that. I don't even know.
On the note of feeling bad because you did so many of them, I wouldn't feel bad. You told all your artist friends. They didn't jump on board.
I missed half of that, but yeah. I think I got the gist of it.
Yeah, just like not to feel bad because you told all of us. I remember you telling me about them a couple years ago, and I was too busy to jump on it.
Yeah. Oh no. It's not that I feel bad per se. More along the lines of I felt like they had like a ton of guy art in there and they needed some diversity. So I even think Alex was saying something similar, like there's no offense here, but all of our art looks like it was done by the same artist because it was.
Yeah, but if we went with that mentality, we wouldn't have the X-Men cards Jim Lee did in the 90s.
Sure. And I'll come back. I'm not done with Earth Tau by any stretch. They've got a zillion cards they need made. And they're working with local Colorado artists, and you know what I mean? They pay, and we're not doing this pro bono or anything like that. So I totally, there's no doubt here. I am not. It's not that I'm done with them or anything like that. I just stopped. I really want to do. There's one card they have, and I really wanted to do it. Which was this gal who was like a cyber she does cyber work or whatever, and I had this really cool image in my head, and their image of that particular character was different, and so I'm kind of bummed. I may just draw that picture anyway, and then give it to them, and then say, if you ever need to use this or whatever. But I think they have a different idea in mind as to what that character does than what I had, so I was kind of bummed about that.
Yeah, that makes sense. I did that with one of their cards too.
Yeah, you kind of
just missed the mark.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. That is part and parcel of being a production artist. That's what we do. We get all in love with our characters and in love with what we're doing, and then we give it to them, and they're like, "Yeah, this isn't what we wanted." And you're like, "Man, but it's so cool." I'm not happy with this thumb.
But yeah, I definitely like how they treat their artists. I haven't heard anybody complain about them.
No. And they have, the only complaints I usually hear are that they didn't want the piece that I made, which isn't a complaint, just a statement.
Yeah.
That they made me go back and redo the piece, which they've made me do more than once. And like I said, that's not a knock on them. They've got a design. They have a design ethic, and they have, they've got a specific thing they're doing. So no complaints there.
Yeah, it's actually refreshing. Actually,
right?
A client that knows what they want.
Knows what they want. They give as much detail as they possibly can. And so, man, they're good folk. I really like them. I should go back and say, "Hey, you need more help?"
You should.
Yeah.
I like seeing your art.
Well, thank you. I like seeing your art too. I like the fact that we're both in the same project.
Yeah.
Is a short dwarf intimidated by a tall hobbit? These are things we're thinking of today on today's show.
Whoa, guy, that shot. Come on, man. That's not that kind of show.
I thought about that when I started working on this light. It was like, not only that, it's like really close to her crotch and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, well. Maybe it's these vents that make this kind of look like that. Atomic retro. But I do want a big red button. It's not funny if there's not a big red button blinking. It's not a big red button yet, because of course I haven't colored it, but it will be. When I put the flats in, that's going to be a big red button.
It's also got to have text above it that says, "Do not touch."
Right? Bomb. Do not touch.
Oh, it made me sad the other day? I was communicating with a friend. You know how sometimes you just send a GIF?
Yeah.
Kind of a short message? Well, I was looking for Galaxy Quest of Sigourney Weaver saying, "Hold, please." There's one.
Oh, please.
I love the way she says that. I can't find a GIF for it.
Man, you want to talk about the perfect casting, though.
Oh, yeah.
Man, that was awesome.
Did you ever watch it in Thermian?
No. I'm
It's
going to have
available.
to now.
Yeah, I don't know if it's on the Blu-ray. It was definitely on the DVD.
Oh, I saw an interview on somewhere, YouTube or whatever, from the guys who were speaking jive in the airplane movies. And so they were showing clips and they cut back to the actors, and the actors were like, well, yeah, but, we two were buddies back in high school. We had already kind of come up with this jive language. We already knew, and everything like that. And I was watching it, and then I turned on the subtitles, and the subtitles are all in jive.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And I was like, that was the best. I laughed for like a good 5 minutes for that one, because I was like, okay. Because, of course, they were just two normal fellas who just came up with this language that they put into Airplane. But so they were speaking perfectly normal and everything like that, but then the jive was being translated at the bottom. That's super clever. I love stuff like that. Okay.
Galaxy Quest 2.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
I wish there was a Galaxy Quest 2, but I doubt we'll ever get one. We might, but without Alan Rickman,
I don't know if I could watch it without him.
right? I mean, I'm sure they would do fine. I was watching the making of Galaxy Quest, and Will Wheaton was on there, and he was like, the thing that makes me so mad is we should have done that. He's like, we should have done that. He's like, it was such a good show. Patrick Stewart's even said that when Galaxy Quest came out, he didn't want to see it because he figured it was mocking Star Trek. And then Jonathan Frakes said, no, you got to go see this. And so they went to the theater and watched it, and he was like, it was brilliant. And he was like, I felt like at that point in time, I felt like it was a major error that we hadn't done that. I thought that was high praise. I consider
based on a
Galaxy
Canadian
Quest.
show?
I'm sorry?
Wasn't it based on a Canadian show?
No. I mean, it's based on Star Trek. It is, in fact, when they originally wrote it, they wrote it with Captain Kirk in mind to cast William Shatner to play the part. But back then, Bill Shatner was still too caught up on being a leading man that he wasn't ready to mock himself, so he wouldn't take the part. So they cast Tim Allen. I consider Galaxy Quest and the Orville to be Star Trek, as far as I'm concerned in my head. I consider both of those Star Trek. I collect them all on my I've got a collection of Star Trek on my hard drive because I don't trust streaming to be there forever. So Star Trek's the most important thing. So I'm absolutely going to keep it on my hard drive. So there's that. But I also keep Orville and Galaxy Quest on there because I consider them Star Trek as well. I mean, Orville could really be Star Trek. Just, especially with Lower Decks.
Yeah, I started watching that one. I haven't really gotten into it.
Lower Decks?
Orville.
Yeah, you have to get past the first episode. You can clearly tell that there were expectations by the studio as to what Seth MacFarlane had to do or was expected to do. And so the first episode is full of penis jokes and stuff like that because that's what they expect Seth MacFarlane to do. but they settle that down later on.
So no pepper today, huh?
Do what?
No pepper.
Yeah, no, he's trying to. He is on deadline, and and so I was like, "Well, you can join us and draw." And he's like, "Problem is, I talk and then I don't draw." And I'm like, "You know what? That's fair.
That's very valid.
Very fair." So, all right. Trying to decide whether I want to keep going with the widgets inside the car.
Yes.
Yeah, I like the widgets. You're right. I'm gonna keep the widgets. Part of the charm. Nope.
There was a novel about a race of teddy bear creatures that can break reality. That's awesome.
A book of Teds.
Yeah, so he's like, is this a sentient car? I had a sort of an idea that it was on auto drive. And you know what? The big red button, it could be the auto drive sentient car widget. You know, who knows? I mean, that's not a bad plan, too. I feel like that gauge didn't come out right. I'm going off script. I shouldn't go off script. Glad I'm not inking like you are.
What is that?
Because I just went off script and I would have ruined this drawing.
Work around it. Happy little accident. Make it a
I
treat.
actually really do love hand inking, but it's one of those things where it's like, it's risky. It's risky business. Because that is lovely. That is absolutely stunning. But, you know, you spill one thing of coffee on that and it is done. And you and I both have kids. You know.
This is true. Christina is slowly teaching me to make those accidents into part of the drawing.
Yeah, she is so good at that. Christina is really excellent. An excellent artist. Hope she gets some time over the summer break to do some work that's fun. All right.
She's got a couple projects. She's got Babe Wall slated
That's cool.
next month, I think.
And George. Yes, I have George. George's recent thing is, so Pepper brought me a whole, yesterday he stopped by and he gave me all of my pink paints and his little Battleship Blue thing that he made, which I'm going to put that to work tomorrow. I don't even know what I'm going to do on Watercolor Wednesday. It's Watercolor Wednesday tomorrow and I don't have Pepper because he's trying to get this job done. So it's just going to be me. So I'm trying to figure out what am I going to paint. But
I'm gonna have to give him crap. That's all I know.
do what?
I'm gonna have to give him crap.
Yeah, you can.
He was in town and he didn't even say hi.
Well, you didn't. Did you deliver your Mayan Blue?
Yeah, I got that already. It's freaking
Well,
awesome.
then he didn't have a delivery for you.
Doesn't
He
matter.
was delivering my hot pink, which, you know, what's interesting it was really, really super hot pink when it was in powder form, but once he put binder in it, it really calmed down to something that I actually might use. I was like, this is really nuclear pink, you know. I was like, wow, this is going to be seriously something. But it calmed down quite a bit with binder in it, and it actually looks really nice.
That's good.
So I might do something. But yeah, he gave me that Battleship Blue, and I'm kind of thinking I need to do a spaceship tomorrow. So we may be painting spaceships tomorrow because Battleship Blue needs to be put somewhere. And I also feel like I have missed a couple of watercolor Wednesdays because I was on deadline and stuff like that. So Donald was asking whether this is a sentient car. And I think it probably is. And that's part of our issue.
Yes, Pepper's awesome with paints.
He really is.
I want to get a full set of his paints. I just don't have the money.
It's so expensive and it's tough.
I blew my load on that Mayan blue.
Yep. He made my character's skin tones and gave me a ton of them so she will always have consistent skin tone, so that if I decide to paint my comics, I can just keep painting with the same palette. And the paint has a little bit of gold fleck in it.
No, that's awesome.
And it really is so pretty to see in person. And so I was like, oh man. And of course, my comics will be scanned in and stuff. But, you know, I'm sure that I'll table. So, you know, you can always come and get an original version at a convention or something like that. And that'd be fine.
Makes the originals worth more.
Yeah, it does. Paint Maker of Earth Award. Yeah, we should. Oh, let's go through here. I think we're getting close here. I think I can turn off my blue line now. Take a look at where we are ink-wise. That's not bad. Super dynamic. I like it.
Let this one dry up for a bit.
Do what?
I'll let this one dry a little bit. Take a breather from it. I want to do something different with the wings.
You and I really have a uniquely different style, don't we? It's kind of funny when we both have inks up on the same at the same time.
I didn't even think of that. That's looking good,
cool.
man.
They're both looking awesome. I'm actually pretty proud of your piece too. Oh, it's pretty.
Thank you.
That's a wild piece. Wow. Alrighty. Time for me to put colors in, I think. I feel like this is pretty good, pretty solid.
So what's she going to be wearing?
I don't know. I mean, I just kind of put her in a generic jumpsuit of some sort. I didn't really come up with an idea. I don't know. She's like saving the world. So it's a saving the world jumpsuit. You know, apparently those are a thing. Who knew? That's a good question. You know, what we should do is bring, well, first of all, let's save before we, yeah, be sure to hit save there, Raph.
I did. You know what save is in real life? Move the coffee.
Right? Move the coffee. It's not bad. I'm just pulling up I guess I've made it Cochrane, or not Cochrane. I know I've made it Chang, who's Cochrane. I mean, honestly, she's been Cochrane for 20 years, and now she's just Chang. So I'm having still some adjustments to new name.
Why'd you change it?
Because Cochrane was named that specifically because she's the great-great-great-granddaughter of Zephram Cochrane in Star Trek.
Okay.
So that she could have something to be angsty about. That was literally the only reason that I gave it to her, was because every first contact day in Star Trek universe, they would make her make a speech, about her great-great-great-grandfather. And she was like, I'm not defined by who I was. And that was sort of one of the things that I really wanted. Well, when I went to my own world, there's no Zephram Cochrane in this world. So I changed her name because there's no point in having her named after that.
That makes sense.
Here's her codes. So we'll bring up her codes. There we go. Actually, let's see. I have to go in. I've done my older style of eyes, so I don't have to go in and manually put Scalia back in.
See my ugly pencil?
Your ugly pencil? Oh, yeah. Oh, hey, that's kind of cool. Although it is ugly, because you're right, it kind of makes me feel like it's bloated or it's got a disease or something.
Yeah, it's so much more comfortable though.
Oh, yeah, I totally agree with that. I could see that. When ink flies, art signifies. Huh. I like it.
Quick, when he logs off, steal it and don't give him credit.
Right, exactly. As artists, that's definitely something we need to do. We've never learned that lesson the hard way.
Right. I
That is-
found something that I agree with Rob Liefeld on.
There's nothing to agree with him on.
No, he actually made a post about how he thinks it's very unfair that there's a lot of artists, including some of his friends, that do not get paid what they should be getting paid. That they keep getting undercut by people.
Oh, yeah.
I was just like, whoa.
Liefeld's actually saying something reasonable. Actually, you know what? I give Liefeld a lot of crap. He's one of my favorite whipping boys. But the truth of the matter is that, really honestly, he's not a bad guy. He's had his moments where he wasn't the world's best. But he's not really that bad.
He's not too bad. I don't mind him. I actually follow him on Facebook and Instagram.
Sweet. Yeah, it's just that Captain America picture. I mean, oh my God. And the boy cannot draw hands. You know? Yeah, I know.
I'm not too good at hands, so I'm not going to say nothing.
Nobody is. Nobody is. But if you're a professional and working for Marvel or whomever you're working for, you practice until you are, you know?
This is true.
I mean, I appreciate that nobody likes to do hands and feet. Nobody. Maybe I'll give her a green uniform. I mean, part of the reason that I do the maquettes is so that I don't have to mess with the stupid hands and feet thing. But I also don't work for what's it? I don't work for Marvel, so
Yeah, he's got this new thing where he doesn't do backgrounds either.
yeah.
I remember Andy liking Rob Liefeld.
Yeah, and then, like, to each his own. It's really not fair for me to say, you can't like what I don't care whether. Actually, I don't really have a problem if people like Rob Liefeld. That's a misnomer. I just mock you incessantly. That's just a different thing altogether.
No, I actually dig kind of Rob Liefeld's old work.
As long as it's not that Captain America piece, we're fine.
No. I'm talking before that. Like, I'd say Image before he went to like Awesome Comics and stuff like that when it was still Image. So the first volume of Youngblood up to this, I'd say his 8th issue of the second volume.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was just something about it I just didn't care for too much.
We all evolve, I guess.
It was cool though. Like on Instagram, he released a video where he pulled out a bunch of his old artwork from Youngblood 4, I think it was. That was pretty cool to see. The original artwork on the 11x17 boards.
Fair. This is becoming fun. This piece is becoming entertaining quickly.
You gotta put some cybernetic wiring in the weaving now.
You what?
Now everybody does the
Cyber wiring that shows on it,
Oh yeah.
like a circuit.
There we go. I'm really careful at this point in time because I'm like hitting all these little things. And if I'm not careful, I end up turning all of it one color. I like the idea that one light's on the cockpit up there. Beep. Can look like a handout. That's funny. Yeah, the 10 figures one, I think we got kind of, I don't know, that one was, I think I missed it on that one. Missed the joke on that. Alrighty, let's get in here and start. There we go. Okay, the Croclo unfortunately makes it just a little too angular for like pupils. You'll use the Croclo for the pupils, which is
I
fine.
would say that depends on the art style.
Yeah,
It's either
well,
like that.
I feel like though her pupils got just a little too, sort of sideways-ish.
Oh, I usually end up for pupils using what do they call it? The multi-liner, like a Micron, the Micron pen that's in that pack.
Yep, that's what I'm doing right now. I like that multi-liner a lot too. Man, you gave me a whole bunch of stuff to mess with.
Figured I'd get my money's worth. This stuff was not cheap.
Yeah, well, I think it's funny that, I'm getting your money's worth too. Oh, come on. Stay with me here. Don't draw into the other areas. Be nice.
Dude.
There we go.
Oh, so how's Geek Take doing?
And we're still kind of going along. Last night we were playing Counter-Strike, which apparently was more popular than I thought. Because we usually were like, we've been trying to get Chelsea back, but she's been so busy. And so it's been Troy and I just trying to kind of figure something out to talk about. We're kind of running, we've got like a bunch of topics we want to talk about, but Chelsea has vested interest. And so we don't want to talk about it without her because it's her topic and she has a lot of opinions. She has a lot of opinions because she's Chelsea and that's just who she is. But yeah, I mean, it's been kind of an interesting thing while we wait for Chelsea to get back from being super busy. She's kind of a workaholic. We don't know anybody like that, do we?
No.
Oh, know and love.
When's the NDK again?
September, the first weekend of September. So it's going to be whatever that is. Because I think it's August 31st or something, whatever is the last day of August and the first few days of September. So
How are ticket sales going?
pretty good, actually. We figure we have one of two things that's going to happen. Either nobody's going to show up because they're all afraid of COVID, which would be fine. And then we're going to have nobody there. Or everybody's going to show up because it's the first real convention of the year since COVID started. And it's looking a little bit more like B and not A, which good for the coffers, not so good for the staff, because we're actually kind of worried that we will be overrun.
Yeah.
We're all volunteers, so kind of worried about that a little.
I'm kind of looking forward to getting back into con traveling.
Yeah, me too. I mean, as much as I am terrified that this is going to be like a horrible mess, I am kind of looking forward to getting back into the swing with the convention and stuff like that. So. I, I follow you there. I'm following you, Donald.
Damn.
Love you, bro. Those are good. I always heard that the Coffin Con was just kind of dead.
Wow.
I'm trying to get in there.
Work on timing.
Right? Work on the timing. All right. There we go.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm liking it. Doing better here. I haven't put the highlight in either, so it's still going to be kind of cool. So I think I can highlight from the left and the right on this one. So give a little bit more curve to her face. And then I can highlight on both sides. It'll be kind of nice. Into the road humor. Yes. Welcome to our world, right? That's what this show is all about, is bizarre humor. Ooh. Okay. Try it again. Undo is a wonderful thing. All right. What do I do next? Let's do the highlight. Let's go ahead and highlight in. I've got about 10 minutes left.
Oh, that went quick.
Yeah, it did. Glad you joined me, though.
I don't know.
It's a good
Usually
excuse.
the best
Huh?
company because I'm pretty quiet.
I just enjoy having your company around, though. That's good.
Thank you. I like being on. It's fun.
I appreciate that. It's also good to be just creative sometimes. Here we go. Nope. That's not what I want to do. You know what? I'm going to come back in there and do this. That works. Because the highlight's going to have to come in from over her shoulder. So I need to make sure I've got that sort of clarified there. That looks a lot better. That looks kind of cool, actually. I feel like her chin is not aligned properly, though. That's kind of aggravating. I'll have to go back and fix the chin, but not now because I have 2 layers.
I will admit that's a pain in the ass when you're working traditional.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I kind of had a feeling when I started this that her chin wasn't straight, but I didn't do anything about it because I'm stupid. So that I'll have to deal with it later. That's all right. We're
Yeah, but
having
it's digital, so it's easier.
It is a lot easier. Bring this crow quill in again. This time I'm going to bring it a little higher though. It makes a very elegant line, this crow quill. It's very sleek. I like the feel of it. Make kind of like interesting cuts into the drawing.
Yeah.
Allows me to like define areas. I think I gave her more chest than she usually has as a character.
How's that a bad thing?
It depends on the character. I mean, each one of my characters has a different chest size, so. And she has a very small chest size, generally speaking. Because her colony genetically manipulated everybody.
It's funny. I usually get a lot of flack for not drawing big-chested women.
Yeah, me too. That was like one of those things, and I'll never do that. That's not my...
Well, if it's a character design, then I'm fine with it, but like just doing it to do it, not my thing.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, like, one of my characters does have a bigger chest. That's part of the character design. Originally, I did it so that it was easy to identify which character was which, because 20 years ago, it was hard for me to make characters that were distinguishable enough. So I picked traits that would be obvious and clear. And so since these characters are the same characters, they're just being moved over. They get the same traits, but I'm better at distinguishing characteristics now. So I don't really need to do that. But as a person, I have always found smaller chests to be attractive, which is why I get aggravated by, the belief systems of our media that keep telling women that they're only attractive if they've got certain traits, when really men are attracted to all kinds of things.
Agreed.
And it makes me mad because it makes women get this complex, and they don't need a complex. They don't need any more complexes. Far more than enough as is. Yeah, that crow quill, look at that. That looks nice. Doesn't that? Doesn't it look great? That crow quill really comes in there and cuts nice. Need to stretch out my hands, though. Ooh. Save the picture before something bad happens.
So I made a discovery last night.
I've done that before. Oh, wait.
Miles Morales headshot,
Uh-huh.
and I realized the webbing is red on black.
Really?
Yeah.
There is a lot of really amazing thoughts, or like tricks that they're playing with Miles Morales that I love.
So yeah, here's my Miles. His mask is supposed to be all black. with the red webbing, and then the lenses are highlighted in red. This little V shape is red, but this is all black with red webbing.
Fascinating.
Yeah, so I'm trying to figure out how the hell I'm going to do that. So far, I'm thinking maybe taking like a red marker or red Sharpie fine liner and just drawing in the webbing.
Right.
And then maybe using like some grayscaling for the black.
I agree with you, Ghost Hand. It is very uniquely, I screwed that up. Uniquely human to do that. To get into the ideas of traits and things like that. Well, and as I have told my child, you can't guarantee that you will find a partner who will match those traits, because as humans, we're attracted to a personality type too. And that often overrides. And you end up with a person, your partner, who doesn't have the personality traits. I dated girls with larger chests because I liked their personalities, So it's not necessarily going to end up being a given that you're with the, I almost said stuck with, that wasn't the word I was looking for. And you're not going to end up with a person who's got those traits. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. It's interesting. I do think culture plays a big part sometimes, though, in your mate and who you find. I'm going ahead and just...
Unless it's Selma Hayek, then that just transcends everything.
Grace Park.
Grace Park?
Yep.
Nice.
Boomer from Battlestar.
Mm-hmm. She was part of the reason I even watched Hawaii Five-O.
Fair.
Without her and Daniel Day Kim, that show was actually pretty bad.
Daniel Day Kim is awesome, though.
Speaking of Daniel Day Kim, we just watched Raya last night. That was awesome.
I want to see that. I was going to... it just went to Disney Plus, and I've been waiting for it forever, because that's like... it's everything I like in a show. So... want to see it really bad, but I got overruled and we watched Hamilton instead, which that's actually really good too.
Not a musical fan.
My wife and I were both in theater, so it's part of the lifeblood of our family. It's the reason why every time we get into your karaoke, we end up singing like all the show tunes.
Speaking
you were doing that.
Haven't been in a while.
No, we haven't. It's because Friday nights are generally our time with Troy. And so Troy has 3 kids. 2 of them are twins, and they're the same age as my kid. And so the Friday night thing has been reserved for getting the twins and my kid together. And so it's hard for me to try to get in on your Friday night thing. And then Saturday nights are D&D games. So it's not that we don't want to, it's that there has been a long-standing tradition in our family, so
that makes sense.
We want to. Although my wife was saying she was having a hard time with the Zoom effect on it, because it felt like she couldn't get timed up correctly and stuff like that. And so she was having some problems with that.
The lag. Yeah,
lag was kind of brutal.
You do better if you just share your screen and don't have somebody else do it for you.
Yep. We're going over, but I don't have anything else to do at this point, and I'm enjoying this picture, so we can go over. Unless you need to go.
Yeah, not yet.
We'll go in a minute or two, but
I'm
we're doing work, and the work's good. We're having fun. And if you guys need to... Okay, so Colton's now making snarky comments.
Oh, when did he get here?
I don't know. But he's snarking, so, he's here.
When
It's
is
a cool
he?
thing. Don't know why he's not joining us in drawing, but that's all right.
Although
Right.
we're probably
We're probably not that long for this world, so to speak. But I'm enjoying this, and I'm having fun. And I don't think I've had a non-commission piece in a long time. So I'm kind of actually really enjoying this.
That sounds like an awesome problem to have right now.
Yeah, well, sadly,
I have work. He's been lurking for a whole 5 minutes.
love you, Colton. Doesn't mean we're not going to, mock you incessantly, but, that's because we love you. That's really what it boils down to. You only hurt the ones you love. There we go. I'm in here with the wrong pen, though. I really should be in here on this crow quill.
Control Z.
More elegant line. Agreed, Ghost Hand. I mean, I'm just coming up onto what you said before. It's the long-term exposure. Well, and that's something you always have to remember. You're going to make a partner for life. You kind of want to make sure you can, you're not doing it because they have money or they're cute or, whatever. You want to make sure that it's the personality. I say that a lot because I think about this a lot. My wife is a geek, and that's really nice because she doesn't actually mind the fact that there are starships all over this house. Everywhere you turn, there are spaceships or starships or something, because it's the nature of things. And my best friend dated a girl for a while who didn't understand, didn't get it, things like that. And she made him put all of his Sailor Moon posters away, and she thought it was weird. It was really sad. I actually felt really bad. He's married to a much, much, much better person now.
Yeah, we call those toxic relationships.
Yeah, that's toxic, man. Wrong color. I like all the folds in this jumpsuit. This is fun.
I'm having way too much fun with like folds and colors and
This is great.
but it's looking nice. Look at that. That's not bad at all.
More buttons on the steering wheel.
Oh yeah, needs steering wheel buttons. You're right. Totally needs steering wheel buttons. How do we know that this is a space age car? There aren't steering wheel buttons. That's a good point. Today is Tuesday and I really don't have to go anywhere.
Yeah, a guy tends to get giddy a lot. Giddy a lot when he starts getting in the groove.
Right? I loves that. However, you guys all just put up with it, which is all right. And I appreciate it. As the giddy one in this group, I appreciate it.
When you use a plate to cheat when you draw a circle.
Nah, use anything you can. I actually, I stole a whole bunch of my dad's templates. I say stole; he gave them to me, but he, because he used to draft back in the day. He was a draftsman, and it was actually funny. The last time I was down there, I was like, "Hey, do you still have your scales and things like that?" And he's like, "Well, yeah." And I'm like, "Can I have them? Do you use them anymore?" "No, I don't use them anymore." And you can have them, but why would you want them? I'm like, "Dad, I draw." And he's like, "Yeah, but you do like comic books. Why would you need draftsman tools?" And I'm like, "We use those tools all the time, Dad." It was very funny. And then after he gave them to me, he's like, "Gosh, if I had known this, I would have given them to you a long time ago."
That's cool.
Yeah. Well, he in the beginning, he thought this was some kind of phase, I think.
As most parents do.
Yeah. And as time went on, he changed his statements to be more of a, "Look, I'm glad that you're an artist, but please find some real jobs to do," which was kind of a rough period that we went through. But now that I'm actually making money at this and, actually making a career out of it, he's much less stressed about it.
Yeah, I kind of went through the same process with my dad recently on that.
Yep. Well, I think we all have to. I think our culture has been kind of rough on artists in general. And I think that they mean well. It's not that they mean to be mean to us or anything like that. They just, it's like we've picked a career that doesn't generally make a lot of money, and they're very worried about us, and that's all. And I appreciate that. I mean, I don't think my kid's going to be an artist. He doesn't seem to be that sort of thing. He doesn't seem that way.
That
It
way.
sounds like he's got like some kind of, right. It sounds like I made him like he's got some kind of disease or something. But, it's like, but if he is, I'll accept him as he is.
Wow.
I know. The more I said this, the more I'm like, gosh, this
Just
is
keep digging that hole deeper.
weirder and weirder. I don't care if my kid's gay. I don't care if my kid, but boy, he better not be an artist. Oh man, that went south so fast.
Yeah, I'm staying out of that one. You're lucky Kai's not around.
Nah, he's came in here and got his Switch and vanished really quick this morning. He did set his alarm though. I found that interesting.
Hey, Coda.
Speaking
really?
of,
Okay. Bye.
good to see you.
Yeah. All right, looks like it's time for me to go. I think that's my cue.
Yeah, that right. Like you've been summoned by your child. I probably
Yeah.
should go too. I could work on this all day. Tomorrow's Watercolor Wednesday, so we will do watercolors tomorrow. And if you want to join me, you can. I think it might not be a bad idea if you've got something to watercolor up. That'd be cool.
I don't, unfortunately. I packed all my paper since we're getting ready to move.
When are you moving?
The 23rd of July.
Okay, so you're just packing up ahead of time, not like me who waits until the 22nd of July to pack everything up, right?
Yes.
Yep, I get it now.
Because we have to rent a truck and get movers to help us out, and we kind of want to get it done in one one trip rather than having to drive from here to Aurora twice and put miles on that truck.
That's fair. That's fair.
So we're hoping we can just load up real quick in the morning and unload and drop off the truck and be done with it.
Cool. Yeah, because moving out of your place is going to be rough because you're up on that upper floor and a lot of stairs and crap.
Yeah, we have about 40 comic book boxes.
Yeah, I feel like that my grandmother will be calling that day and I won't be available. I'm sorry.
Well, you don't come
Not
to see us
necessarily
anyway,
me.
so
That
I
was my
doubt you're
back
coming
saying
anyway.
that. Because I'm like, yeah, I don't know if I could do that. So, no, actually, that's I say that with joking. I will come over and help wrangle children if you wish me to.
Okay.
That I might be able to do. Children wrangle. I can't offer my back, but I can offer children wrangling. So
I don't think I'd want to put you through carrying things down. Colton helped me when we moved last time, and he helped with some of the boxes that were full of books.
Yeah.
I felt really bad.
well, if you're getting movers, that's cool.
Well, we'll see. But all right, man, I'm going to catch you
Yeah, I was
later.
gonna say I'm switching over to the Ring camera to say bye, everybody, because we'll get going. I'll go get lunch going for the kiddo and me.
Oh yeah, I need food.
Yeah, I need food too. I didn't have breakfast, so
I haven't either. So.
Colton doesn't feel bad. Yeah, actually, I was going to say that's the thing I feel bad about is people who helped me move. We moved into this house and it was a major adventure. And my wife said, "You know what? We're dying in this house. We're not moving again." So
Colton was awesome. Like, thank you so much, Colton. If I never thanked you enough, like he was one of the only people that came to help us move, and it was a lot of heavy book boxes. So he was a great help.
I didn't remember you moving.
That's because I called you and you didn't answer.
Oh, well, that's fine.
Yeah, it went straight to voicemail. It was really weird. There was one time it sounded like you picked up, and then I heard shit, and then it just went to voicemail.
Right? Exactly. I mean, that's my voicemail message. Okay, everybody. We're gonna go. Let's go get food. It's
All
good
right.
to see you guys. I'll see you all tomorrow for Watercolor Wednesday. Probably just me. Hey, Colton, you should join me for Watercolor Wednesday. So prep your watercolors. I'm just saying.
You've been voluntold.
Yeah, you've been voluntold. You should prep your watercolors and join me tomorrow. So there you go. And I'll see you guys all tomorrow and everything else. And as always, keep your eyes on the stars. Thanks for joining me, Raph. Bye-bye.
Thanks for having me. Bye.